Hello, Ramakant. We're also live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So, in case you're joining us from either of these places, just leave us your introductions on the live chat. That's where you'll be interacting with us. Hello, Fiza. Good evening as well. Okay. So, like I said, today it's actually going to be about how you can use AI, the role of AI in leadership, and how this is changing things for leaders. What is exactly AI doing, such that leaders are supposed to do things differently. And with that, we'll also help you understand how the senior leadership program helps you with exactly this in each business function. So you can be an aspiring leader, you might be in a leadership position already. So you kind of be able to relate to what we're saying regardless of your work experience. So in case you're interested in learning more, we'll also talk about how the learning experience of the course is, the eligibility to take up this course, and also how you can be a part of our upcoming cohort. We'll wrap up the session with the Q&A. So in case you have questions for Anand, do make sure to put them on the Q&A box, and ensure that you're also interacting during the session. Kind of keep it interactive instead of making it, we don't want to make it a unidirectional one way sort of a session, right? Okay. Yeah. So just so we know you a little better, we know from your your name, your city. I just want to know what your background is. So I'm just going to launch a very quick poll, and Anand, you should be able to see the results shortly. So just let us know which business function you're a part of, what's your current job role, what's your background, and what's your overall work experience as well. Yeah, so just launch this poll. And in case people on LinkedIn and YouTube are wondering what poll this is, just let us know your overall work experience, how many years of experience you carry, and which business function you are a part of. That's what we're looking for. This is for us to understand you guys a little better. Okay. Amazing. Great. Hello, Elona. Nice to have you joining us from LinkedIn. It's great. Hi, Netra. Hi, Sheikh. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to end this poll right here and share the results. Anand, I'm sure you're able to see these results. A lot of them are from tech and product related roles, and a majority of them, more than half of them, actually carry a lot of experience, more than 15 years of experience, which is great. All right. Amazing. Some of you have, lesser experience, which is it's still fine. You might be aspiring to be in a leadership role. Like I said, the session is going to be useful regardless. Okay. So just a quick introduction about what we do, what Simply Learn does. So we offer a lot of courses in various domains, generative AI, machine learning, data science, business analytics. We've also launched, a new vertical. It's called the executive program vertical, in which courses we've got courses in partnership with some leading management institutions, including SPJ, IIM Indore, IIM Kozhikode as well. We've also partnered with organizations like Microsoft, AWS, IBM, Google, also with some universities across the globe. Some examples being Imperial, Michigan, Purdue, UCSD, Division of Extended Studies. We've actually touched more than 8 million careers worldwide over the last 15 years of being functional. And we've got what we're really proud of is our learners experiencing hikes in their salary, of course, taking on better roles, taking on better pay, and of course, making sure that they gain the skills that keeps them relevant in the industry. A lot of them have graduated our courses as well. More than 85% of them have graduated from our courses, and our learners rate our courses 4.8 on 5. So you can check out these courses on simplylearn.com and see which domain seems the best fit for you, which course seems the best fit for you, and reach out to a learning advisor. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to introduce Anand to you, who's going to be a speaker, who's going to help us understand his journey as a leader and how he leverages AI as well. So it's going to be a lot of storytelling from him as well. So Anand has been a technology leader. He's got 20 years, more than 20 years of experience in the tech domain. He's got expert in integrating products, APIs, data streaming. He's particularly got expertise in execution, making sure that teams succeed, and has got a lot of mentorship capabilities as well. So Anand, welcome to the session. I'd like you to introduce yourself and then we'll get started.
Yeah, so thank you. Good to see the participants from different parts of India. I'm glad. Probably I'll introduce myself. Before I introduce myself, I'm originally from India, from Tamil Nadu. For those who joined from Tamil Nadu and other parts of India, thanks for taking the time. I know the time is around past eight, so thanks for taking the time to join. Um, so yeah, my name is Anand Ashokan. I lead the data teams at Thrivent. Thrivent is a financial services organization. It's a Fortune 400 organization in US based organization. So I live in US. So that is my background. That is my current situation. And before joining Thrivent, I was a consultant for 20 plus years. Started in India and moved here. I was always a consultant leading different digital transformation initiatives, building products in data space and also APIs. So that is my sweet spot, if you will. And then I started as an engineer, moved into an architect role, and then moved into a management. Now I've become a leader. So that is my journey to the path of leaders, from an engineer all the way to the leadership role. So, to me, what drives me, what motivates me, is the challenges that is going to be in front of us. I would probably recommend all of you to look at your challenges that is in front of you, and also make sure, like, how many of you reflect on what you do on a daily basis. I would recommend you to do a reflection on what you do on a daily basis, or even like once in 2 days. I think that will change the way you think, the way you listen, the way you communicate with people, if you practice that well, right? So that I will leave it at that, and I want to have this as an interactive session. So feel free to stop me at any point if you want to dig deeper into any of the topics, or if you want to learn more about my experience, or if you want to share any of the things that you want to share, which might be useful for the group.
Great. Thanks, Anand, for setting the context again. So everyone, you heard Anand. We do want it to be as interactive as possible, and definitely put your questions on the Q&A box if you have any for Anand. So let's quickly get started with the conversation. So Anand, before we dive into how AI is changing things for leaders, maybe you could share your thoughts about how leadership in general is changing things as well. I'm sure it's not the same as how you started out 20, 25 years back. So maybe you could shed some light there.
Yeah, I would say in current situation with the evolving changes that are popping up in every minute, every second, if you will, right? Those days are gone where you measure leadership or leaders' capability in terms of how many people you manage, right? It's all based on, okay, do you have a small team? Do you have a large team? What does your title looks like? What is your hierarchy? Where are you in your organization? Are you directing your tasks? Do you have the outcomes that you want to deliver? Are you able to influence the team? Right? And energy went into who reports to you, right? A lot of energy has been spent on, like, who's reporting to you, and recognition is always tied to, like, how many people you led, what are the operational things that you fixed, how much budget control that you have, like, how are you efficiently managing the budget. I think those days are gone, in my view, right? In today's world, everything is tied to an outcome. Are you really delivering meaningful outcome for the organization, right? It doesn't matter whether you are a leader or whether you have the title. Everyone has influence on what we need to do for an organization. Like, it comes from ideas, expertise, collaboration, you name it, everything matters, right? It is always focused on enabling others and also removing barriers for others, for your team, and making sure that how you can help the team to accelerate progress. So as a leader, the primary job is to how you influence the team, how you enable others, and also create followers so that you can make the followers to leaders at some point, right? So energy, a lot of energy goes into what difference you can make, what impact you can make within the organization, and how you can steer the team or rally the team to make sure that they are following the goals, right? Or they are understanding the goals, right? And are also treating that as their goals, right? Um, and recognition is always tied to what is the impact that you are delivering, not about team size, not about how many people you need, not about how much budget you saved on a yearly basis. So it's a huge shift compared to 15, 20 years ago, and I'm sure you might be seeing it on the ground. So I think there's a lot of nimbleness that is happening in the leadership space as well, right? It's not only at the engineering level, right? Given AI, given the technology changes, given the environment change, given the things that are happening in the communities, it's all about what is the meaningful outcome and impact, and how you can bring ideas and expertise, and how you can collaborate within the organization to make a broader impact is what's going to matter. And most importantly, as a leader,
Mm.
to me, you need to have a good clarity, you need to have a good vision, and you need to have a good communication to explain that vision so that teams can understand the vision and the mission, right, that you want to march towards to. So those are the three things I would probably ask you guys to look at: clarity, vision, and communicating in the vision. Those are the three things I would rely on to make sure that, that's a starting point for any leader, to make sure that, okay, this is your path forward, and bring the team along, and then see how you can influence the team, rally the team, so that you can spend a lot of energy in influencing the team to march towards that goal.
Yeah, great
I'm,
suggestion.
I'm curious, I'm curious, like, I'm sure this is not something new for you guys. Probably you can put it in chat with respect to what you just heard, with respect to what you guys are experiencing, or in a transition state or a transformation state. Feel free to put it in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So, in case people are, I mean, a lot of you have actually more than 15 years of experience. So, you could share what changed from the time you started out to now as well. And, if what Anand says resonates with you about communicating outcome, I think that's probably the biggest, whatever, kind of the most critical aspect that a leader
Yep.
needs to kind of ensure. So, if you've got any thoughts, you guys can put it on the chat, and do not hesitate to share your thoughts. We've got people on LinkedIn who are also, who've got MBA degrees from IIMs, got a lot of experience as well. So you guys can share your thoughts as well, right? So let's maybe move on. Yeah, let's just move on now. We've got one comment on the chat who says, in terms of outcomes, business value, common atom between the old and the new. Yeah. Except that currently the team size is not really a sign of influence and progress. Absolutely, Abhijit. It's exactly, you're on point there. Yeah. So let's also look at what's really driving this change. I'm sure, of course, there's mindset shift in how businesses operate, how people operate as well. But there are also other factors that may be driving this change. What, according to you, Anand, I know we've listed five here on the slide, but what, according to you, are like the biggest factors behind how leadership is seen?
Yeah, I think all of these things matters. I was just scrolling through the list of participants. As you see, some of them are using the AI note taker, right, already, in terms of how they want to take notes. And the technology is playing a primary role, if you will, right? But that's not the only aspect or the criteria, if you will.
Mm.
To me, the speed of change, the innovation that you want to bring into the organization, and also with respect to the market and competitors that you have in the space is going to matter. And once you understand what you need to bring from an innovation standpoint, what is the differentiation that you want to make, what is an impact that you want to make, then comes, okay, do you want to have a cross-functional teams to solve a particular problem, to move the needle on that particular problem, right? To solve that cross-functional problem, do we have the right talent, right? Or the talent that we have in place have the right skills and also have the right work so that they can shine well, right? And also making sure that how do we distribute the work, right? Using this global and a hybrid environment we are into, like I work remote full time. So my team is all over US. So how do we bring those team together in this hybrid environment? In some cases, you may have offshore, you may have nearshore. So how do we bring those teams together so that we march towards one common goal? And then the technology and the AI will be enablers, right, for making these adoption towards rapid speed. To me, it starts with what is your common business problem? How do you want to differentiate within the market space? How do you want to show up as an organization is going to be the leading factor, and then everything else will come along the journey, right? In terms of bringing cross-functional problems, cross-functional collaboration, and having the right and also expectations from the talent are met. And how do you use the hybrid and global team and use the technology as an enabler to move towards this shift? That's how I look at it from a change perspective and how we adapt from a leadership standpoint.
Right, right. Got it, got it. So in case people, joining us in this session, you've got any thoughts on what forces are driving this change in how leadership is perceived or how leaders function? You can let us know as well. And if you feel tech and AI is the biggest enabler of this shift, you could share your thoughts on that, because that's exactly what we're going to cover next. Is how is with AI coming in, how is the leader's role changing, or not changing exactly, but how is it really evolving? Again, Anand, maybe learners would be kind of interested in knowing your journey as well. So what happened when AI hit, and how you kind of changed your perception about how you should leverage AI, and how did you also translate that to the teams that you lead?
Yeah. So again, there's no the conversation is not complete nowadays if you don't talk about AI, right? That's the joke that we actually run with. I think AI, in my standpoint, has influence in many ways, right? Back, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, everyone was exploring it, right? Everyone was like experimenting it. And last year, we saw some pilot projects across the industries, right, on what we can accomplish using AI. Now, I think this year I see it's a realization moment, right? Okay, so for us to even implement something with using AI, we have to be good at the foundational aspect, like, be it data, be it infrastructure, be it use cases, be it the outcome that we want to achieve, right? You can crowdsource a lot of problems, a lot of use cases when it comes to AI, but out of those ideas and out of those crowdsourced information, what are the ideas that you can pick? What are the use cases that you can pick to make a meaningful impact for the broader organization is what's going to matter, right? So I think there's a lot of factors that is coming into play starting this year, and it's going to continue to the next into the next year to have the realization moment, right? Okay, we can implement AI, but before we implement AI, or before implement this use case using AI, here are the foundational things that we need to be good at, so that we know where we want to march towards, right? Personally, um, initially I started using the tools that are available in the market, like ChatGPT and a lot of other tools. For simple questions, like instead of using Google search, I started using ChatGPT. Now it is becoming, part of your life, right? Anything and everything that you want to do, you always go to ChatGPT by default, right? Those days are gone where you go to Google and search for a product or search for some information. Now you don't need to go there. You just need to use I'm just using the ChatGPT, and then same thing with Perplexity, right? If you want to, I just had an example 2 days ago. ago, where I was asking Perplexity to act as a persona, and I was asking a lot of questions to that persona, and it was able to answer all those questions for me, right? As if like I'm talking to someone who is a real person. And you need to set the right context, to this tool so that you can maximize the results that you're going to get out of it. And now with an evolving change with Comet, right? And I was playing with the Comet browser, right? Released from Perplexity. You can do your job. Like for example, simple example, like if you want to send a LinkedIn message to your colleague or your friend, you can just say that to your Comet, and Comet browser will automatically take care of that, right? And if you want to book a table for at a restaurant for a reservation, you can do that, right? So you just delegate the task and go do something else and come back to it. Like to me, it is becoming part of your personal life and also professional life, right? Given the Microsoft Copilot, given all the things that we are enabling within the corporate, it is making your life easier, right? When you're crafting email responses, or when you missed a meeting, to summarize, what you missed, or when you want to do a follow up on, when you want to catch up on the most important things and out of the meeting. It is becoming easy and handy, so that you don't have to be there everywhere to listen to all the ideas and be participating in all those things. I think it is enabling you. It is helping you to be more productive, right? So that you can delegate these repetitive tasks to these tools and focus on the strategic tasks. So that is at the personal level. But how it is impacting in a broader scale, right? These are the four things that we listed out. But if you look at it in general, I would probably lean in on the innovation and customer growth to begin with, right? So anything and everything that we do will be around what we can do from a customer standpoint. What is the impact that we can make from a customer standpoint, right? Like for an example, personalization aspect for a customer, or even if you want to craft a personalized email, rather than doing it in a traditional way, right? Same thing with faster decision making, right? Like I said, it is improving your productivity aspect. It is also helping you to make decisions faster. Whether it's through actionable insights, or whether it's through real-time dashboards, whether it is to summarize the complex data where you have to spend hours and hours to come up with a recommendation, or even use it as an assistant for you, right? If you will, to make some judgment, or to clarify something, right? Based on what you want to do. So those are the things that I would highlight. I know we are going to dig into each of those things, but I want to highlight, right? End of the day, it matters on where you want to use it, what is the impact that it's going to create for you and also the organization, right? Since I mentioned the personal features that I'm relying upon, likewise, I'm sure you may have multiple scenarios that you may have experienced with ChatGPT and Perplexity, and if you're playing with Comet, it is fascinating to me on how we work and how it is changing our mindset, right? I'll give you another example. I have two boys. We put them in multiple classes. I'm sure, if you have kids, you might be facing the same problem. So you will have classes every day, multiple classes, and you need to figure out like, when to put in what classes. This is what I did. All I did was like, I listed out all the classes, and I told them these are my restrictions, these are my time slots that are available. And I also mentioned like, how many minutes I need to put for each of those classes. And I told, okay, hey, here are the things that I cannot do within this day. For an example, Wednesday, I don't want to be at swimming, or maybe like look at the temperature forecast and plan accordingly, right? It gave me a plan to say, okay, Monday you can send your kids for these two classes, Tuesday for these two, and Wednesday this one, Friday these two. Done. Previously you have to have an Excel spreadsheet open, feed in that information, and see how you can plan it. You don't need to even do that right now. All you need to do is just feed that information, put the context. It is giving you a plan right now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think these are some amazing areas where we can leverage AI both on, on an individual level, and also on from a leadership perspective. So, in case people who have joined us here, if you've got thoughts on how you use AI, let's say experiences that you want to share, and it can be related to work. Maybe mostly, let's keep it related to work as to how you use AI right now. And it needn't be the four functions that we've listed here, four use cases that we've listed here. It can be anything else as well. And people on LinkedIn, I would be interested to know how you use AI, how you leverage AI today. For example, if again, Anand mentioned time planning. This is also critical for me because I plan a lot of webinars. I need to ensure that speakers are aware when the webinar is happening. We're sharing the content deck. We're planning the run through. We're also planning, the communication for the webinar to target people like you. So all of this has to happen in time frame. So there is where I use AI tools, project management tools to kind of remind me that, hey, this is coming up. This notification is necessary for me. So in case you've got use cases like that, do share on the chat. We'll be interested to actually understand how you use AI, right? So on that note, Anand, we've got a question on the Q&A box, which is actually a very interesting question, which we kind of get in every session. So Abhijit asks this question to you. What are the guardrails that you've identified and how have you monitored them so that AI remains a collaborator and not as a mechanism for the employees to outsource or dilute their skills? And I'm sure you might have seen people do that, or has that happened to you at all? Or how do you think you those boundaries?
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about the guardrails and guidelines and principles. To me, I think the leap. I'm just looking at the Q&A. There's an answer that Dilip mentioned. I'll start with that, right? So, human in the loop culture is going to be important, right? For example, I wouldn't think of AI as replacing the critical thinking process or making a final judgment about what you want to do, right? It augments the response or the judgment that you want to make. But end of the day, you can use AI as a assistant for you, AI as a partner, right? Not the decision maker, and use that information that AI is going to provide so that you can apply critical thinking, analysis based on the practical things, based on the environment needs, based on the situation that you're into, based on what you're dealing with, right? The external factors matters. So you are going to be that human in the loop who's going to make that ultimate decision, right? So you can use this to review your decision making process, or use this to validate, use this to probably assess the risk, use this to probably understand the results and the outcome, predict some of the outcome, probably explain them why this outcome matters versus why that outcome matters. But end of the day, the human in the loop matters. You have to have that human intelligence and use AI as your partner for decision making. Since most of you guys are from a technology background, you have code repositories, and code repository provides a lot of AI capabilities to implement code or generate code. End of the day, yep, you can rely on those generated code, but end of the day, it's your responsibility as an engineer to take the code and put it inside your project or inside your code base to make sure you're putting it at the right place, and also making sure whether that makes sense or whether you can at least make a meaning out of it, and also generate test cases for those code. Right? End of the day, human in the loop is what's going to matter, so that we can use AI as an assistant or a partner and not the final decision maker.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the right way to look at it. And yeah, we've got some interesting use cases mentioned on the chat as well. So maybe let's proceed and talk about how leaders can leverage AI in these four areas. I'm sure there are other business functions that we've not listed down here. But let's talk about forecasting and mitigating and forecasting risks, especially. So how does AI help there? And if you can also share an example, um, you know, probably from your own experience or anything, any use case that you can share.
Yeah, so in this one, like the forecasting and risk management, right? For example, as some of you might have noticed, or some of you might have experienced it. Like we heavily rely on historical reports, probably use some gut instinct, or use after the fact analysis to do some of this forecasting and risk management. Right now, given AI bringing AI into the mix, you can use AI, or you can do some prediction, predicts outcomes by learning from vast real-time data, right, that is out in the market, right, or that is in your company or in your organization. And it's also going to highlight the risk, or the vulnerabilities before it becomes a crisis for you, right? So it helps the leaders from a reactive mode to a proactive mode, right? From a firefighting mode to a proactive prevention. Like an example would be, if you take an example of a supply chain industry, you can you can you can probably avoid the disruption that is going to happen, probably ahead of time, ahead of weeks time, enabling bringing some contingency plan into place, right? So based on the demand, based on the supply, you can probably plan that using AI, right? Rather than doing heavy lift analysis, you can rely on the tools that are available in the market to do the reasoning, right? Even for you to predict what's going to happen in future with respect to the data points that you have in place, you don't have to spend too much time in analyzing the data. You can just feed that information, put the right context, and predict something. Again, use that as a starting point and expand onto it, right? That's how I look at it in this space from a forecast and risk management standpoint. So if you go to the next one, Aparna, I want to probably deep dive into this part. This is more relatable for everyone and anyone, right? Because everything revolves around the customer aspect, right? Previously the growth strategies are always reactive. You get in front of the customer and ask customer, "Hey, what do you think about our product? Is it helping you?" Right? And based on the response, you have your roadmap planned and meet the needs of the customers, based on the feedback. Now, using AI and using the tools that we have in place, you can analyze the behavior of the customer, sentiments of the customer, the usage pattern of the customer to see what is that you can unlock, right? And bring up some personalization recommendation, right? Personalized offer recommendations or personalized experience for the customers based on their loyalty, based on their lifetime value, right? So you can use those data points and feed it into a model. Use the AI to make this happen, right? You don't need to rely on the survey feedback. You don't need to go and ask for a feedback, right? So you can just use the behavioral aspects and sentimental aspects to probably design and accelerate experimentation, if you will, right? Um, for example, if you want to launch a product, and if you want to make sure that if the product is going to be successful or not, you have to look at probably the different aspects of the customer behavior and sentiments and usage patterns across the existing products and how this product is different than what we are providing already, and see how that is going to create some growth strategies for us. So at a scale, you can exponentially use this for a variety of things, and also make sure that it is not, you cannot heavily personalize for every single need, but you have to probably look at what are some of the what are some of the segments that you can identify and do a test with that segment before you scale it, right? So that's how I look at it from an innovation and customer growth standpoint. So we go to the next one. Um, People planning and optimization operation, even though it sounds okay, this is needed, but in today's world, the people planning, or even 5 years ago, everything was manual and siloed, and it was always backward looking, right? You cannot predict skill gaps. You have to look at what they are doing. Now you can easily understand the skill gaps and suggest some upskilling that you want to provide for your workforce, right? You can probably simulate some of the tests, if you're in the testing functions, or if you're in the, education industry, you can simulate some of the tests to understand how you can probably frame up your test and questions for the exam, right? And operate from an operation standpoint, for you to run smoother, you can use some predictive maintenance or automated scheduling or intelligent workflows to predict how you can optimize the operation, right? So in a nutshell, it predicts even the risk of losing people when you have those people in critical roles, so that you, as a leader, you get a lot of leading time on okay, what is the risk that you're going to have, given the people planning that you want to create, given the goals that you want to march towards, and given the operational optimization that you want to bring in. I think that the the use cases that you can use AI for is going to be huge, but it's up to us to see which specific item that you want to focus on, right? Like if you want to focus on a generic item, it may or may not be relevant for you end of the day, but you need to put your organization context. You need to understand what's the problem that you're solving on and how it is going to impact your customer base, because you might be in different industries. Every customer is different, every customer base is different. So make sure that what makes sense for your organization before you start implementing a use case.
Right.
I want to move on to the next one, Aparna. And this is a fascinating one, and I think I touched on this already. For you to make decisions quickly, like I call this as like you can use Power BI or you can use Tableau, you can use any of the reporting tools to see the reports. Right now, people are interested in asking questions in a natural language and try to get answers out of it. And that's exactly what ChatGPT does, right? That's exactly what Perplexity does. So you imagine in your organization if you have something like talk to your data, right? Where you can ask simple questions and get answers and use that answers to make decision for making decisions, right? And you can also use that kind of model to probably ask, okay, why this pattern is this way versus that way, right? So in a nutshell, the decision making process is becoming a crucial step, and it is helping us to the AI is helping us to accelerate some of these things, right? It is identifying the trade-offs that we need to make based on some scenarios that you can plan, and you can have AI to act as a persona, feed in some scenarios and ask those questions. Okay, what if I expand into this market versus that market? What is my financial risk? What is my risk implication? Right? You get answers within minutes. Right? It is not hours, it's not weeks, it's not months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these are some amazing use cases and advantages of using AI when you are a leader, or if you're aspiring to become a leader. Actually, these are some amazing insights, especially in decision making, which is like a critical component. You have to make a lot of decisions on a day-to-day basis, I'm sure. And also, probably what Anand highlighted was, on the innovation and customer growth front. So what you can do better so that you're able to grow the business and also ensure that we're also kind of reaching and targeting the audience in the right way. So these are some amazing use cases again. So in case you guys have seen results, you could let us know on the chat, or if you're joining us on LinkedIn or YouTube, let us know on the live chat as well. And with that, what we're actually going to do is to just kind of help you guys understand how this course is built. The Senior Leadership Program is built. What we have as a part of the course is a lot of modules focusing on how AI is like the driver in that particular business function, and that's exactly what you will learn and gain. So you will be able to understand how you can lead initiatives that use AI without actually being a data scientist. We're just enabling you to make smarter decisions with the help of data. And obviously, this course is in partnership with SPJN Global School of Global Management, and you've got a lot of modules that have live classes from SPJN Global faculty. And of course, I will kind of take you through what the faculty pool is looking like. But it depends on the availability of the faculty, and it changes module to module. So you're not going to have one faculty throughout, right? Just to keep you informed. What you also get is a 3-day campus immersion. You have the opportunity to network with others, reflect, and kind of get perspective from others as well. And towards the end of the course, you get a course completion certificate from SPJN School of Global Management. This is how the course is structured. And just kind of, going back to what Anand said as advantages of what happens when you use AI, you're going to be learning that in the form of the course. You're going to understand how strategic thinking happens, how how you should have financial acumen, and how that happens with AI integration. How should your customer strategy be, and how should your digital marketing be, and again, how you can leverage AI. So each module will help you understand how AI can act as an enabler, as a driver, as a catalyst for growth. Of course, how you can make your supply chain more intelligent, what your operation strategy should be, how you can use AI to drive decisions with the help of data, and how you can also have influence over your team, and how you can lead business transformation and digital change. And last but not the least, it's going to be about how you should lead in the era of AI. So we actually covered that, give you a sneak peek of that, in the chat that we've had so far. So in case you've got questions for Anand specifically on what he shared, you could let us know on the Q&A box. I'm just going to quickly look at LinkedIn, Nitish, Noor, Andrew, Greg, in case you guys have questions. It'll also be great if you can put it on the live chat, right? So just to quickly highlight the learning outcomes. So you'll kind of be able to develop strategic responses to complex situations. You'll be able to use AI to simulate scenarios and make decision making. So what Anand mentioned about faster decision making and also forecasting risk, this is exactly what the module helps you with. With module 2, you're able to lead value creation. You're able to apply AI and machine learning to identify risks in financial data and kind of make capital decisions that align with the goals of your organization. So these are the first two modules. Next, you will have the customer strategy. We also have the operation strategy. So in customer strategy, you will be able to you'll be able to understand how you can use AI to personalize offerings for customers, how you can have, what your pricing models should be. And you also are able to use insights to improve your forecasting, improve your inventory, right? All that we also discussed in, some time back. Anand actually mentioned this about forecasting and inventory management as well. So next is how you're able to make better decisions with AI, how AI kind of enhances your decision-making capabilities, and how your talent strategy should be, and also about how your leadership influence and how you can leverage people analytics for better organizational outcomes, which team performs better, how you can use or optimize resources so that you're able to achieve your outcomes smarter, right? And of course, the next couple of modules are mostly based on you as a leader. So you're going to understand how AI can help you identify market gaps. You're also going to understand how you can manage stakeholders, how you can drive digital transformation at scale, and also think about success in the long term. And also, interestingly, you're going to understand whatever we discussed today, obviously in a much larger setup, in longer modules with professors who actually teach and have mentored a lot of leaders. So you're going to understand how you can lead ethically, responsibly in AI environments. And the end of the course has a business simulation, which you're supposed to submit this simulation to be able to complete the course, right? So this is how the course modules are structured. So Anand, this is pretty much what we discussed, some of the use cases that we highlight today as well. So it'll be great if you can share your thoughts on how the modules are structured as well.
If you can go back to that the high level modules that you have, Parna, I think probably I want to highlight a couple of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what does probably for me, right? I've gone through similar courses, not with SP Jain, right? But the universities that I see within US, right? Um, I think it's a mix of the technology aspect and the business aspect. I think there's a mention aboard, like, how do you use the financial business acumen when you talk about data-driven decision-making process and AI, right? And I also saw something about how you use responsible AI, right? When you probably develop some AI solutions. I think those are some of the things that everyone should be actually looking for. And also, I like the fact that you mentioned that you have some canvas or the exercise where you just need to probably use that I assume that is more of like you have a scenario, you feed in that scenario, have some prompts and have the AI respond to you for those prompts and see how you can make sense or make solutions out of it, right? So those are some of the things I want to highlight here. I think it is important, right? We as a technology people, often we dive directly into doing coding and doing Python, doing all those things. But I think these are the things which matters to stay relevant with respect to what you want to achieve, right? Back to my concepts about like it's not about implementing use cases is the hardest part. It's about identifying the specific use case. How do you make sure that the specific use case is going to make an impact for your organization is what matters the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at the bigger picture, that's what it helps with. Great. Thanks for sharing your thoughts about the course as well, Anand. So with this, I'm just going to go ahead and share with the learners who our faculty is going to be as well. So again, like I said, this depends on availability of these professors, but you could check this out on the course page as well. You can understand what their profiles are. From our course page, we actually had Professor Andrew for a previous webinar. So in case you kind of want to rewatch it, it's there on the LinkedIn. It's there on a LinkedIn page. You could kind of hear Professor's thoughts on this course and how it's structured as well. So he's actually the program advisor, and we've got a bunch of other professors, who are going to handle all of these modules that we listed out. Now, how this course is going to be delivered is 100% online. We've got close to 120 hours of live instructor led training from faculty from SPGen Global. And so it's going to be very interactive with helping you understand real life situations, business case studies that help you relate to the topic, and you're definitely gaining something out of each module that you learn. And of course, the course and business simulation kind of hits the nail on the head, and you are able to understand how all of this is how you can leverage AI in all of these business use cases, right? And just definitely equips you better and makes you a better leader. So that's how this course is different. So we also, just to highlight again, you get a certificate of completion from SPGen Global, and you are able to kind of relate to different business use cases, like I mentioned, and this is a certificate that we talked about, right? So the 3-day immersion event happens at the SPGen Global Campus, Mumbai. You've got 10 months of live learning with faculty from SPGen. You also get executive education alumni status with the help of this course. Okay, so who is this program best suited for? Obviously, you are required to have a certain amount of experience to be a part of this course. You must have, I think, about more than 8 years of experience. So if you fall in any of these categories, you're definitely a good fit for the course. And of course, you should be having a bachelor's degree as well. And you can be from any background. You needn't exactly be from a tech background to be a part of this course, even though we're covering a lot of AI related use cases throughout. Yeah. So a little bit about SPGen School of Global Management. So this is an Australian business school with campuses located across the globe. We've got campuses in Dubai, Mumbai, Singapore, and of course, Sydney. So the aim of SPGen Global is that they deliver modern business education for students trying to fit into the international context. That's their aim. And what they want to achieve is that they kind of want to bring together people from diverse environments so that the learning is much better, is also enhanced. So there are also other courses. There's also a flagship global MBA program that's ranked highest by Forbes, by Economist, by Financial Times. You can actually check out their website to understand their portfolio as well. Now, if you want to be a part of this course, all you have to do is to tell us a bit about yourself. Just submit a small application. A learning advisor will reach out to you, will connect you to the admissions panel, and they see what your eligibility is, whether you're a good fit. And if we feel that you're the right fit, then you're selected in the upcoming cohort. just to simplify this whole process, I'm going to be launching a quick poll, and you might have interacted with Simply Learn or Explore our courses a while back. So in case we have your details, we might use that as well. Or, if you can just answer a yes on the poll, and, a learning advisor will reach out to you, collect your details and help you submit your application. And then, the admissions panel reaches out to you. Okay, so that's your enrollment steps. In case you're looking to understand when the next cohort starts, it's anywhere around October. I know we've mentioned 11th of October, but this date is subject to change. We're not sure about the final date yet, but somewhere in October, definitely. So in case you're looking to start out, this is exactly the right time to explore the course. And the course goes on till the 24th of August next year. And these are your timings. So the exact calendar of the cohort is shared with you after you enroll, or the learning advisors can actually help you with the order in which modules are structured, the classes are structured, who your faculty is going to be, what's going to exactly happen. All of that is available with a learning advisor. But let's say you are interested to understand these modules a bit more in detail. What I'm going to share with you guys is the course page. Just going to do that on the chat here. And meanwhile, in case you've got questions for us, please definitely use the Q&A box and put them here. Yeah. So the course page has all the details about the curriculum, who your faculty is going to be, what your outcomes are, how these classes are going to happen. There's some details available on the PDF that I've shared. Maybe you can, on the link that I've shared. There you can download a PDF and understand all of that I mentioned. Okay. So this is the course fee, 3,70,000 rupees, excluding GST, and you can avail an installment option as well. You can pay close to 19,500 a month with the help of installment options. Yeah. So I'm just going to launch this poll, and if you feel that this course is a great fit for you, you want to have a conversation before you think about enrolling in a cohort, you could also do that. So I'm just going to launch this right now. Yeah. So when you say a yes, it means that you're just interested to have a conversation, see if it's the right fit for you. So a learning advisor will reach out to you tomorrow morning. Okay. Yes. All right. So I'm just going to pause here for any further questions related to what we've discussed. But it's definitely been a great and enlightening session from Anand. I think it definitely helped you understand how you can be a smarter leader with the help of AI, and where all you can use it and how you should use it as well. So if you've got any specific questions on what we've covered, anything related to the course, would be great if you can put it on the Q&A box. Yeah. So this course helps you with the right kind of acumen to be able to lead better. This is in no means saying that you're going to become a leader, you'll be able to explore leadership roles immediately. Totally depends on what your experience is. Someone has this question about if you will be able to take up roles, leadership positions after this course. So it obviously depends on what your background is as well. So Anand, there's actually one more question which I think you can address. So what else should leaders be prepared of? There's definitely AI. So what are the softer aspects that a leader should focus on? So maybe if you can highlight that as well. A learner has this question.
Sorry, what else other than
AI,
that we just okay.
Softer aspects, like say the soft skills, in terms of how we communicate or how we ensure that the outcome is delivered. So how do you learn that?
Yeah.
That?
Like I said, the three aspects that I mentioned when I was referring to this one, communication is number one, right? How you can communicate with your teams or with your peers or even with your management team. And also, how do you tell a story about what you do is going to take you a long way, right? That's the first aspect. And then how do you bring clarity, right? So that your team can get that clarity and also have a single focus on what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, right? If you're putting your hands in multiple things, as a leader, it's going to cause a lot of chaos and confusion for the team, right? How do you bring focus for your team? How do you bring clarity for your team is my second view. And the third one is like you need to have a stronger vision statement for your team, right? So that they can march towards that vision. And then the rest of the things will fall in place as the team understands your vision. You are able to communicate and be a great storyteller and provide clarity. And you need to leave it to the team to build on that, right? You cannot just build everything and give it to the team. Just frame that and put some clarity, communicate that strongly, be a good storyteller, and then the team can pick it up and build on it.
Yeah, I think that's great insight. I hope this question was answered. So I think we can kind of wrap up the session. We've got a few people who are interested in the course. So yeah, if you feel like talking to a learning advisor right away, you've got anything specific to share, what you could do is just head to the course page, and there's a small bot as well. So you can enter your input there, and the learning advisor will reach out to you either way. Right? Great. Thanks everyone for taking the time out to join the session on a weekday and also on the day of a festival. So happy Ganesh Chaturthi to anyone who's celebrating and watching us. So it was great having you as well, Anand, and happy Ganesh Chaturthi to you as well. I forgot to wish you the beginning.
No, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anand, for your time. Thank you, learners. Bye bye.